Again, thank you for joining us on WEHC, and those of you who are listening in as you view the live stream from GoWasp.com. Today, Emory and Henry takes on the visiting Cavaliers of University of Virginia at Wise. We'll give you their starting lineup. Wise enters the game with an overall record of 0-9, and they're 0-7 in conference play. Starting at guard, a 6'2 freshman from Gate City, Virginia, number 1, Bradley Dean. A 6'6 freshman from Buford, Georgia, number 5, Makai Vassell. A 6'3 sophomore guard from Hendersonville, North Carolina, number 11, Ben Bryson. A 6'7 freshman forward from Greensboro, North Carolina, number 24, Joel Pettiford. And rounding out the lineup for the Cavaliers, a 6'1 sophomore guard from Wise, Virginia, number 32, Isaiah McCamish. Wise is coached by Blake Mellinger, assistant coaches Blake Simmons and Austin Howard. That's Stinson. I can't read my own printing here. What makes this game, before we give you Emory and Henry's lineup, what makes this game important? First of all, Wise is in the South Atlantic Conference, which Emory and Henry will join next year as they're making the move from Division III to Division II. So they're a future conference opponent for Emory and Henry. The local players from Emory and Henry probably played in high school against the local players that are on the UVA Wise team. But for most of these players, they're not from this area. The regional rivalry probably means more to the fans than it does for the players on the team. But this is another good measuring stick for Emory and Henry for our readiness to play against Division II competition next year. The teams share one common opponent. We both have played against Mars Hill, who's in the South Atlantic Conference. UVA Wise played them November 23rd and lost. Emory and Henry played them 6 days later and won. So from head-to-head, or for common opponents, Emory and Henry holds the advantage there. So the starting lineup for Emory and Henry, who enters the game with an overall record of 6-2, and because we're basically an independent this year, we have no conference record to speak of. Starting at guard, a 5'11 sophomore from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, number 2, Patrick Antonelli. Antonelli averaging 7.6 points a game and 4.7 assists a game. Starting at guard, a 6'3 junior from Concord, North Carolina, number 4, Malcolm Morgan. Morgan's averaging 12.6 points a game, shooting 47% from the floor. Another freshman guard from Lynchburg, Virginia, 6'4", number 5, Jalen Leftwich. Leftwich is averaging 10.9 points a game, shooting 56% from the floor and 46% from behind the arc, averaging 4.1 assists per game with a 2.1 assist to turnover ratio. At guard, a 6'5" freshman from Clintwood, Virginia, number 32, Gabe Brown. Brown averaging 13 points a game, 5.4 rebounds a game. And rounding out the lineup for the Wasp, a 6'8" freshman from Grundy, Virginia, number 44, Cade Looney. 14.4 points a game, 6.9 rebounds a game. Emory and Henry's coached by Ben Thompson in his third season, assisted by Matt Spencer, Khalil Shaker, and Rick Thompson. Today's ball boys are Peyton and Grayson Byers. Emory and Henry wearing their gold uniforms with navy numerals, UVA Wise, and black uniforms with red numerals outlined in white. I'm bringing you the entire broadcast as I have no one assisting me today, so you'll just hear me throughout the whole thing. So Looney getting ready to tap it up for Emory and Henry, facing off against Pettiford. Taps up, controlled by Emory and Henry. Leftwich gathers it in for the Wasps. Emory and Henry starts out in a 1-4 set against man-to-man defense. Looney outside, he finds Leftwich on the backdoor cut, who kicks it out to Brown. Brown's three on the way, no good. Rebound gathered in by Pettiford. And the Cavaliers bring it down facing Emery and Henry in man-to-man. Pettiford swings around the perimeter, looking for a baseline cutters, doesn't have it. Handoff up top to Dean. Dean over to McAmis. Up top to Dean, and as Dean makes his move driving left, he's going to be charged with the turnover. Scoreless here in the first 40 seconds or so of action. Leftwich brings it up for the Wasps. On the left-hand wing with it is Banks. Up top to Looney. Looney dribble handoff to Leftwich. Double teamed on that dribble handoff. Leftwich splits it, finds Looney at the three-point arc. Looney's going to take it all the way in, gets it stripped away by Bryson. McAmish brings it up, being guarded by Banks. Up top to Dean. Now swinging across the perimeter to Bryson on the left-hand wing. Sees a cutter goes through, doesn't give it to him. Right hand to Vassell. That tops, 5 on the shot clock. Dean takes it in, kicks it out. Back to Dean. Dean's going to have to put up a shot at the shot clock buzzer, and he gets it rejected by Malcolm Morgan. Shot clock violation. Shot clock violation by the Cavaliers. That's their second turnover here. Banks with it on the left-hand wing. Emery and Henry moving around the perimeter and looking for cutters going baseline. Finds Looney down low. Looney, little sky hook's good from just outside the paint, or should I say lane. And Morgan steals away the inbounds pass, but can't get the layup to fall. 18:06, Emery and Henry leads 2-0. Morgan giving Bradley all he wants here as he's trying to bring the ball up the court. Emery and Henry athletic defense, applying pressure in the half court. Bryson with it up top. Out to McAmish. Down low, it's batted away, and that entry pass to the post by Looney. And Brown hits the layup in transition. 4-0, where Emery and Henry leads 17:39 first period. Dean getting all he wants from Morgan. Morgan taps it away, but Dean's able to get it back. Morgan taps it away again. Dean gets it in, finds a wide open teammate at the baseline. That's Vassell for 2, and that's first 2 points of the afternoon for the Cavaliers. 17-15, Emery and Henry leads 4-2. Leftwich finds Looney on the step out back to Leftwich. He goes right baseline, draws 2 defenders, skips it across. Morgan finds Brown right in the middle of the lane, and Brown can't get the first one to go, but the tip in is good. 6-2, Emery and Henry leads. Full court man-to-man pressure by Emery and Henry. Bryson takes it all the way in. His shot won't go. Gets it stripped away. Emery and Henry comes away with it. That's Leftwich. Over to the left baseline to Morgan. Morgan can't get anything. Gives it to Looney just to get it back. Now finds Looney wide open. Oh, Looney falls on the floor and loses the ball. He was wide open to make a move to the rim and slipped. 16:29 first half. Emery and Henry leads 6-2. We expect UVA Wise to play a motion offense with 5 people out. And Coach Thompson in the scouting report said it's not a traditional 5 out, as they play all 5 people at the top of the key and operate for there, looking for down screens, back cuts, dribble handoffs, and flare screens. So far, they really haven't been able to get much of an offense going because Emery and Henry's ball pressure is so intense. They've struggled. So now McCarvey's in for the Cavaliers. They're able to get the ball down low to McCamish. No, that's Pettiford. And he finds Vassell on the back cut for 2 points for the Cavaliers. 16:07, Emery and Henry's lead is 6-4. Batted out of bounds. Emery and Henry will have it on the far sideline. Emery and Henry playing offense to the left. Brown finds Morgan, left baseline. He dribbles out of there. 15 on the shot clock. Leftwich Morgan just takes it all the way to the rim, gets it batted away, and it's out of bounds, but the Cavaliers save it and pass it ahead to Bryson, who finds a cutter. That's Pettiford streaking down the middle of the lane. He's able to make the layup go. Now we're knotted up at 6, 15-35. Morgan picks up his dribble, and he passes it straight to somebody at UVA Wise. That was McCarvey. But his shot gets stripped away. Emory and Henry comes away with it, and Leftwich, in an attempt to pass ahead to Banks, turns it over. So in less than 5 minutes of play, there have been 8 turnovers between these two teams. I'd say neither coach is happy with the offensive play of either of their teams, because as coaches always say, you've got to take care of the ball. Well, nobody is taking care of the ball. The defensive pressure by Emory and Henry has been, as I said, intense, giving them a struggle getting the ball down the court, giving them a struggle getting anything in the entry. But the counter to that is, if you attack that pressure, as UVA Wise has, sending cutters to the rim, they're sometimes able to find somebody open there. So, been a challenge for both teams offensively. Let's honor some of our underwriters. Support for Emory and Henry and WEHC basketball comes proudly from Tom Graham and Kyle King of Edward Jones Investments. 126 East Main Street, Marion. Learn what investing can do for you. 276-783-4448 or edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Food Country, the food specialist, bringing you quality, price, satisfaction. Founded in a small rural area to serve friends and neighbors, Food Country has evolved to serve Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee. Locally owned and operated, your money stays in your community. Food Country is proud to support Emory and Henry Wasp basketball on WEHC 90.7 FM. So now running the point is Bryson. An athletic move by Vassell, and he gets that swatted away. I think that was Brown. 15:05 first half, tied up at 6. 16 on the shot clock. McCarvey throws it inbounds to Pettiford, swinging around the perimeter, looking for the inbounder, entering opposite. He takes it in, has nothing, kicks it out. It's almost taken away by Banks for Emory and Henry, but he deflects it out of bounds. There's 7 on the shot clock. UVA Wise will have the ball on the sideline. Hand off back to the inbounders, McCamus. And there was an illegal something there because the foul's going to be called on Ben Bryson, his first, team first. 14:53 first period action, tied at 6. Man-to-man defense by both teams. Morgan, left-hand wing to Leftwich. Ball screen by Brown. Step out by Looney. Looney finds. We're open on that backdoor cut. We're just going to have to make a better pass. As he dribbles, as he catches the ball and looks that way, Morgan goes baseline on the right-hand side of the floor, but the pass is too far ahead of him, can't rope it in. And another turnover. Dean being guarded down the court. 3 on the way, no good. Rebound by Pettiford. That's no good. Banks comes away with it for Emory and Henry in transition. He finds Leftwich, right-hand wing. Leftwich gets past his defender and takes it off the rim. Knocks it down. 14-14 remaining. Emory and Henry 8-6 lead. An athletic move by Vassell as he just brings it down the court, goes to the rim. Ties it back up at 8. 14 minutes remaining first period. Leftwich dribbles right, looks for a cutter. Looney for the ball screen. Morgan on the left-hand wing now with it. Gets it inside, draws 3 defenders, kicks it out to Looney. 3 on the way by Looney, no good. Rebound battled for and brought in by McCamish for the Cavaliers. McCamish. Long 3 jacked up by McCamish, no good. Rebound battled for and gathered in by the Cavaliers, and they find a streaking Vassell going to the rim on the offside, feed him, and Emory and Henry's best defense there is to foul. Well, maybe not their best defense, but that's what happened as Cade Looney is charged with his first foul, team's first, and that sends Vassell to the free throw line for the Cavaliers. His first free throw is good. He's an 80% free throw shooter. Entering the court for Emory and Henry now is number 2, Antonelli, 0, Kevin Rodriguez, and 13, Jake Monahan. Unavailable today for Emory and Henry are Tyler Arnold, Corey Keene, and Dylan Ketron. So Vassell at the free throw line. His free throw is good. And now the Cavaliers lead 10-8 with 13:32 remaining. It's good to have Antonelli available again. He missed a couple of games recently. Leftwich bringing it up. Cutters went baseline. Antonelli gets it on the right-hand wing. One dribble finds Monahan down low. Monahan's shot's too strong, gets his own rebound. Battles to go back up. Still too strong. And the Cavaliers come away from the rebound as a couple of bodies end up on the floor. In transition, Dean takes it all the way to the left and scores it. Largest lead of the afternoon for the Cavaliers, 12-8 with 13 minutes remaining in the first period. Rodriguez, right baseline. Looks for Monahan, doesn't have it. Reverses to Antonelli, hands off to Leftwich. Leftwich skips it across to Rodriguez. Rodriguez, Euro step, no good. Rebound, battle for, and in transition, there's nobody up ahead with Honaker. And Honaker's finger rolls, falls for the 14-8 Cavalier advantage, 12:30 remaining. So Emory and Henry's offense is creating offense for the Cavaliers. Antonelli skips it all the way across left baseline, and as Rodriguez tries to attack that baseline, he's going to pick up the foul by Grayson Honaker. That's his first, team second. We should have a reset on the shot clock to 20. They're making that happen. Emory and Henry now has the ball on the baseline, inbounds to Monahan. Monahan trapped in the corner, gets it out, or tries to Antonelli. And Antonelli has to fight for it, but it goes off of him last. So another turnover. That's 10 turnovers, I think, between these two squads in less than 8 minutes of play. Trailing 14-8, Emory and Henry on defense, picking up Dean. He tries to feed the high post. There's another bad pass. Emory and Henry comes away with it, and another bad pass as Brown tries to, thinks that Leftwich is going to go cut to the basket in transition and doesn't, and the ball goes not only out of bounds, out the door and into the lobby. So 12:03 remaining. Emory and Henry trails 14-8. Both teams now 12 turnovers in 8 minutes of play between the two teams. Ball up top to Lominac, and he gives it up and then cuts to the basket, gets it back, can't get his shot to drop. Rodriguez comes in transition. He tries to kick it out. Another turnover as he tries to send it across the baseline to Antonelli. It's picked off. In transition, Honaker's three is too strong. Emory and Henry tries to track down the rebound. Something good's got to happen here. We got a 3-on-1, and it does. Leftwich lays it off for Rodriguez, whose layup is good, and Emory and Henry ends their scoring drought. 11:20 remaining, trailing 14-10. Ball up top to Lominac. Lominac, handoff to Dean. Dean goes left. Dean tries to lay it off. It gets batted out of bounds. With a media timeout on the floor with 11:09 remaining in this first half, Emory and Henry trails the visiting UVA Wise Cavaliers 14-10. Support for WEHC and Emory and Henry Wasp basketball comes from People Incorporated, believing that every person needs support from others. People Incorporated promotes the dignity of individuals and families, moves people into the economic mainstream, and works to develop existing strengths and resources within communities. For information about assistance with community development, education, employment training, family services, financial services, or housing, contact 623-9000 or peopleinc.net. All the efforts of People Incorporated are directed by the concerns, hopes, needs, and dreams of the people served. Emory and Henry Basketball is brought to you with support by First Bank and Trust, offering mobile banking, Apple Pay, remote deposits, and more, serving you with free checking since 1979. Member FDIC and on the web at firstbank.com. Well, we have 13 turnovers in less than 9 minutes of play between these two teams. So I really don't have to tell you about shooting percentages or anything else because mostly the ball's been going here, there, and everywhere, but where the person thought it was going to go. If I were either of these two coaches, I think that my bet is they would be talking at halftime, at their timeout, about taking care of the basketball and maybe explaining exactly what they mean by that. Ball down low, back out to Honaker. Honaker, guarded by Rodriguez, picks up his dribble, unaware of how much time was left on the shot clock. There's a shot clock violation for turnover number 14 between these two teams in just over 9 minutes of play. Emory and Henry trails 14-10. Antonelli up top. Man-to-man defense still by the Cavaliers. Gives it to Rodriguez on the right-hand wing. He looks at Monahan on the roll. Gets it down low to him. Monahan faces up, gets double teamed, makes a move, goes up strong, gets it stripped away. Well, gets fouled is what happened there. Stripped away by a foul. So that'll give Emory and Henry the ball out of bounds here, and that foul is on Tyler Lloyd, his first, team third here. 20 on the shot clock on that reset for the foul. Antonelli with the ball finds Monahan as he floats out to the top. Rodriguez up top. Monahan back down low, makes a move strong, left hand, yes, and gets it to fall. 10-27, Emory and Henry now trails 14-12. Their full court pressure is not quite as intense picking up the ball handler as it was to begin the game. Lloyd with it up top, goes off a ball screen. Dean now back up to Lominac. Lominac goes in and draws the foul. So Coach Thompson now is wondering why Rodriguez is going to get charged with the foul when it looked clearly like a charge to Coach Thompson. Coach Thompson was pretty much standing between me and the action, so I have to go on what Coach Thompson saw there. Nonetheless, that'll be first foul on Rodriguez, team's second foul. In for the Cavaliers, number 5, Vassell, and I don't know who else came in there. Got lost in the shuffle. Inbounds pass deflected away. When the ball's in the air, it comes off of Malcolm Morgan's head and goes out of bounds. That'll be the Cavaliers' ball now in the corner. Emory and Henry playing man-to-man now on the inbound situation here. Now it's on the sideline in the corner. 18 on the shot clock. Let's see if they pay attention to it this time. As they swing around the perimeter, and they're looking for the inbounder coming in on the far side. Swinging around the perimeter, looking inside. Oh, gosh, there's going to be a foul call down there. I can tell you that before it ever happened. Pettiford was posting up strong, being guarded by Monahan. All somebody had to do was try to enter the ball there, and there's going to be a foul called. So Monahan draws that foul on the post feed. That's his first foul, team third. He's going to the bench. And Coach Thompson is trying to explain to the official how he's being hooked down low. That never gets seen or called. Not enough. Anyway, inbounds to Vassell. He tries to make a move, goes left, and he's going to draw a foul. So between the turnovers, we've stopped turning the ball over. Now we just start fouling everybody. So that foul's on Rodriguez, his second, team fourth. He's going to be replaced by Brown, I think, here in a second. 9:54 remaining. And that's going to send Vassell to the free throw line again. If I'm not mistaken, he's the only person who shot free throws in the whole game. Yes, he is. And the first one's no good. So Brown is back in for Emory and Henry, number 32. Oh, he makes the first one. Sorry, they didn't put it up on the scoreboard. Second one is good. So he's 4 of 4, the only person who's been to the free throw line in this contest. Trailing 16-12, Emory and Henry attacks on offense, skips across to Banks on the left-hand wing. He takes it up, floats it up, and scores it. Little floating hook semi something or the other. Don't care what you want to call it. It went in. 9:36. Emory and Henry now it trails 16-14. Ball up top to McCarvey. Now Honaker with the right-hand wing. Back up top. That three's on the way is no good. And Emory and Henry comes away with the rebound. Antonelli gets it inside, kicks it outside. Three on the way, three good by Morgan. That's one of my favorite ways to see the three go up is somebody to penetrate inside and kick it out. Now Emory and Henry regains the lead, 17-16, 9:05 remaining. Again, on the post-up down low, that's Pettiford. He can't get anything going against Looney. Kicks it out to Honaker. Honaker's little running floater there bangs off the rim 2 or 3 ways and then falls in. UVA-Wise now with the lead, 18-17, 9:45 remaining. Emory and Henry working hard and moving. Banks gets it, goes inside, and as he attacks the basket, he's going to draw the foul. So the flurry of turnovers at the onset of the first 10 minutes of the game, where both teams committed 14 turnovers. Well, the coaches may have said in that last timeout, take care of the basketball. Next time out, they may say, stop fouling, as that foul is the team's fourth, both teams with 4 team fouls, and that sends Banks to the free throw line for Emory and Henry. 64% free throw shooter. Banks' first shot is good. In for the Cavaliers is Bradley Dean, and I don't know who the other replacement was. It's Isaiah McCamish. Come on, Mike. So there's a violation on the second shot. So Banks will get to shoot it again. 8:40 remaining. We're tied at 18. Banks with a chance to break that tie. Second shot's off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound battle for, and it's going to be out of bounds off of probably Cade Looney for Emory and Henry. Now Emory and Henry again picking up full court man-to-man. Dean being guarded by Morgan. Morgan gave him nothing but fits to begin the game. Morgan going for the ball, doesn't get it. Dean going to take it inside, kicks it out to the baseline, now gets it inside to Vassell. Vassell tries to put up a little shot, and he gets it blocked. Antonelli gets it down low here in transition, tries to put up some sort of acrobatic shot that's no good. And in transition, several floating passes back and forth, but it ends up in the hands of Joel Pettiford, who scores it for the Cavaliers, 20-18 lead, 8:05 remaining. Brown with it for Emory and Henry, left baseline. Tries to just lazily pass it, bounce pass to Looney, and it goes out of bounds. I think it's going to be, is it going to be their ball? Does it go off of us or is it our ball? Well, nobody at the score. It's our ball. Okay. I didn't see it, and I also don't trust the officials, so there you go. 7:58 remaining in first period action. Emory and Henry trails 20-18. The tale of the game so far has been the beginning part of the game, turnovers, both teams with 7. Now it's fouls, both teams with 4. It seems like every time somebody attacks, there's going to be a foul, and somebody's going to we didn't shoot any free throws forever. Now we've shot 6 altogether, but neither coach is going to be happy with the play of their team. Emory and Henry's aggressive defense set the tone at the beginning of the game, but UVA-Wise has now been able to attack that aggressive defense and get cutters and find people going to the rim as they attack that pressure off the ball. So see what adjustments coaches have made at this timeout. 7:58 remaining in the first half. It is Emory and Henry ball. At 19 on the shot clock. Emory and Henry trails 20-18. Antonelli gets it from the inbounder. Dribbles over, screen for Looney down low. Step out by Morgan off that screen. His three's no good. Rebound gathered in by McCamish. No, that's Pettiford. Pettiford with it up top. Dribble handoff over to Honaker. Honaker looks for a cutter. Doesn't get it. Pulls it up. Now feeds it down low to Pettiford. Pettiford's shot bangs off the rim. Gets his own rebound. Brings it down too low. Gets it stripped away. Antonelli finds Morgan in transition. Morgan lays it off the glass and good. So transition points for Emory and Henry as they tie it up at 27-18 remaining. Dean gets past the pressure, and then Antonelli goes for it, and he's going to get called for the foul. No? Yeah, Antonelli. That's his first, team fifth. 7:14 remaining, tied at 20. UVA-wise with the ball on the sideline on their half of the court. Into Dean. Oh, golly, he mishandled that. Honaker over to Antonelli, finds the cutter. That's too easy as Vassell cuts from the far side and gets in front of his defender, and they hand it to him for the layup. 6:58, Emory and Henry trails 22-20. Banks, left-hand wing. Finds Looney up top. Back to Brown. Brown makes a move, goes to the rim, lays it up. Too soft, won't fall. And in transition, Honaker's all alone up ahead. Antonelli tries to go up for the block, and all that's going to happen is the foul and the score. That's going to be 2 on Antonelli in the last 2 possessions. 6:41 remaining in the first period. Antonelli gets replaced by Leftwich. Emory and Henry trails 24-20. And Honaker goes to the free throw line for the Cavaliers. Honaker's first shot is up and good. His only shot is up and good. So trailing 25-20, Emory and Henry comes tacking on offense with 6.5 minutes left in the period. Past him, Looney is almost taken away. Oh gosh, I thought he walked. He takes it inside, scores it. Yep, lays it off the backboard and scores it. 6:22, trailing 25-22. Emory and Henry's coaches are trying to get them to attack, and Morgan pretty much fouled Dean as he tried to get it inside. Dean tries to find a backdoor cutter, Vassell, and it gets deflected away out of bounds. That will be Cavalier ball underneath their basket. 6:11 remaining. Emory and Henry trails 25-22. The Cavaliers set up in a box set. Usually on their inbounds plays, they've been looking for the inbounder coming in on the opposite side and swing it all the way across the perimeter. This time they keep it on the strong side, feed it down low, try to make a move as Pettiford. He does, floats it up and over Looney and scores it, giving them the 27-22 advantage. Morgan back to Banks. Banks makes a move, goes to the rim, lays it off, scores it. Nice answer by Banks. 5:45 remaining, first period, trailing 27-24. Emory and Henry trailing. McCamish tries to find a backdoor cutter, does. I don't know how that cutter's getting so free over there, but that's Vassell again for the easy cut from the offside. His defender's getting lost somehow, and Emory and Henry trails by 5. Nice answer again by Banks. He takes it from the left-hand wing across the lane and able to score it off the glass on the right. Emory and Henry trails 29-26, 5 minutes remaining. Euro step by Vassell, won't fall, and another foul gets called. Vassell on the stick back is going to draw the foul on Brown. That's 7th team foul on Emory and Henry, Brown's first foul. And Kevin Rodriguez will replace Brown in the Emory and Henry lineup. I think that's who he's coming in for. And assistant coach Matt Spencer's drawing something up on the board for Brown. Maybe they're trying to explain, here's where we're getting lost on that back cut. First shot is up and good by Vassell. Again, he's an 80% free throw shooter, and he's 100% on the day. 5 of 5. Caleb Lominack re-enters the lineup for the Cavaliers. Second shot's on the way, and it's no good. by Vassell, and Emory and Henry comes away with the rebound. Under 5 minutes remaining, Emory and Henry trails 30-26 in the first half. Looking inside at Looney, giving it inside to Looney on the right-hand block. Little baby hook's no good. Rodriguez is there for the follow-up. Nice positioning by Rodriguez to be there on the left-hand block and be able to stick it back in. Now Emory and Henry's deficit is 2, 30-28, 4:30 remaining. Dribble handoff here by the Cavaliers to McCamish. Back on a step back out from Bryson. Bryson's floater in the middle of the lane or jumper in the middle of the lane is good. 4:23, 32-28, Emory and Henry trails. Leftwich, ball up top. Ball screen by Looney. No, he slips it, gives it to Morgan, finds Looney. He was all alone, but now he's in the short corner. Skips it out to Rodriguez, makes a move, goes inside, Euro step, lays it off for Looney, and Looney draws the foul. So Emory and Henry having some good ball movement here, if we can just capitalize. Emory and Henry's been to the free throw line just twice in this first 16 minutes of play. The Cavaliers 7 times. 6 of those have been by Vassell. And this sends Looney to the free throw line for Emory and Henry to shoot 2. 4:05 remaining first period. Looney's first shot is good. Looney's about a 58% free throw shooter on the season. Emory and Henry trails 32-29. Looney can draw it up to 2 and does. Dean brings it up for the Cavaliers, takes it all the way up, bangs it off the rim, no good. He got bodied up good by Morgan on the way down. Rodriguez tries for the Euro step, loses it, gets it back and scores it. And now Emory and Henry ties it up, and by defensive pressure by Morgan, it goes out of bounds. The Emory and Henry bench thought it went out of bounds off of Bradley Dean. It did not, apparently, by the officials' take on it. So when we come back from the media timeout, there are 3 minutes and 48 seconds remaining. The score is tied at 32. So Emory and Henry's defensive pressure has made a difference in this game. That last possession, as Dean tried to take it to the rim, first of all, he got bodied up pretty hard by Morgan out near the half-court line. I think he thought he was going to get the foul call, didn't. So then he just continued on to the rim and got the ball. I can't remember if he got it swatted away or missed it, to tell you the truth. Let's see what happened here. He missed the layup. Emory and Henry came away with the rebound. Then Rodriguez drove in to the rim. Didn't get the first one to go, but was there for his own stick back to tie the score up at 32. So at this timeout, I think the coaches have probably quit talking about stop fouling and stop turning it over, and now have started being able to be a little more strategic about playing basketball. In for Emory and Henry is 4, Morgan 0, Rodriguez 5, Leftwich 3, Banks, and 44, Looney. With 2 fouls for Emory and Henry, Rodriguez and Antonelli. No one for the Cavaliers with more than 1 foul. Morgan has been playing tough defense on Dean all night long, and again bodies him a little as he's bringing it down the court. Looking for the back cut, don't have it, give it back to Dean at the top. And there's another foul. So as McCamish was shooting his pull-up jumper, he's going to draw the foul on Banks. That's his first, team 8th. McCamish at the free throw line. His free throw is good. McCamish, a 57% free throw shooter. So statistically, he should miss this second one. One could hope. Second shot is good. So the Cavaliers now lead by 2, 34-32, 3:31 remaining in the first period. Cavaliers again, half-court man-to-man defense. Rodriguez with it on the right-hand wing. Dribbles in, kicks it out, left hand, baseline. Back up to Leftwich, picks up his dribble. Rodriguez calls for the ball screen by Looney. He tries to split it, hits the floor, tries to get it out, and that's taken away, and now it's taken away again. Now it's taken away again. So we had 3 possession turnovers there. And as Lloyd goes up for the layup, he draws the foul. So down underneath our basket, Rodriguez drove in. He had it taken away. Then the UVA Wise had it taken away. Then Looney had it taken away. Then there was about 3 possessions there, changes in about 6 seconds or less. So the foul is on Morgan, his first, team 9th. First free throw hits the front of the rim by Lloyd and rolls up over the top of the rim and in. 3:03 remaining. The Cavaliers lead 35-32. Lloyd's a 67% free throw shooter, but he hits both of these. And the Cavaliers are shooting 91% from the free throw line. Looking around the perimeter, Morgan with it on the left-hand baseline, drives into the short corner. Really didn't have anything going for him there, but he gets double-teamed, and somebody, that's going to be Tyler Lloyd. His second foul, team 6th, Tyler Lloyd reached in there and fouled Morgan. So Morgan will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. That's a dangerous place to drive to the short corner on the baseline and pick up your dribble. And fortunately for Morgan, the defender couldn't resist fouling him. Gabe Brown re-enters the Emory and Henry lineup. That's number 32. Morgan will have a chance here for another one as Emory and Henry trails 36-32 with 2:47 remaining in the first period. Morgan, the lefty, second shot up is good. 36-33, Emory and Henry trails. Morgan playing defense on Dean as he brings it down for the Cavaliers. Dean tries to find something, then gets a step out now, dribble handoff to McCamish. McCamish 3's on the way and good. That's deadly right there. 39-33 now. Emory and Henry's deficit is 6. That's a good answer by Leftwich, the 2-point floater in the lane, but still trading 2s for 3s won't get you ahead. Morgan guarding Dean. There's Lominack, dribble handoff. Inside goes Lloyd. His shot's no good, rejected, and up by Brown, passes ahead to Banks, and Banks in transition banks it off for 2. And now Emory and Henry's back to a 2-point deficit just like that. Under 2 to play here in first period. Cavaliers go off the ball screen. Emory and Henry switches it, and Dean takes it in against the much taller Looney. 41-37, Emory and Henry trails, 1:40 remaining. Leftwich setting up the offense here as Looney comes up for the back screen, for the ball screen. Picks up his dribble, finds Brown, 15 on the shot clock. Morgan with it, left-hand baseline, tries to go somewhere with it. Now finds Looney, who makes a move, and now left-hand layup by Looney is good. 1:15 remaining. Emory and Henry trails 41-39. Bryson with it up top, being guarded by Leftwich. Step out by Lominack. He dribbles, right-hand wing, dribbles a cutter through, now takes it all the way himself. It gets rejected away, now out of bounds off of Lominack. And Emory and Henry will have the ball, trailing by 2 when we come back from this timeout. 1 minute remaining in the first period. 41-39, Emory and Henry trails with the ball. Emory and Henry with 4 timeouts remaining. Of course, we have the second half of play here to go. No, 3. That was timeout was charged to Emory and Henry. Emory and Henry with 9 team fouls. The Cavaliers with 6, so Emory and Henry will be shooting 1-1 on the next Cavalier foul. Well, speaking of shooting, Emory and Henry shooting a torrid 57% from the floor. The Cavaliers not that far behind at 45%, but the Cavaliers have made 10 of 11 free throws. Emory and Henry has only been to the free throw line 6 times and made 4 of those. Turnovers have slowed down significantly when we were just barely halfway through this first period of action. The teams together had 14. Now it's at 16, so the fouls have taken over for the turnovers. Cavaliers playing a little zone here, coming out of this for this last minute. Emory and Henry working it around, getting it to the short corner, getting it inside. Morgan's three's on the way, no good. Rebound, Looney tries to go up strong, finds Brown, now out to Leftwich. Leftwich three on the way, no good, hit, misses everything. But Morgan is there on the left block for the rebound and the stick back, tied up at 41, 30 seconds remaining. Emory and Henry in man-to-man defense. McCarvey dribbles it across, calls a timeout. 23 seconds remaining, 23 on the shot clock, tied up at 41. 30-second timeout, I believe we have here, and it will be Cavalier ball in front of the Emory and Henry bench. Entering for the Cavaliers will be Bradley Dean. So Emory and Henry came out on offense out of that last timeout they called to face a zone defense by the Cavaliers. Emory and Henry did a good job adjusting in that one possession to good ball movement and able to score. Let's see if Emory and Henry does anything differently defensively in these last 23 seconds to play here in the first period of action. So it's been back and forth. I think the biggest lead, and I'll check this at halftime, the biggest lead I think the Cavaliers had was 6. But it's been back and forth, one of those games where there's been no one is able to gain control. So ball out of bounds here. It looks like Emory and Henry's playing man-to-man. Bradley Dean being guarded by Morgan. Morgan going after Dean. Dean trying to get something going here, calling for help or a foul. 10 on the shot clock. Dean, that was a high dribble. He tries to get inside against Morgan. Does get inside, and oh my gosh, with 6 seconds remaining, Jason Leftwich is going to be Jalen Leftwich. I knew Jason didn't sound right, but that's what came out of my mouth. Is his first foul, team's 10th, so that sends Bradley Dean. Dean, only a 56% free throw shooter, to the line, but he hits it today to take to give the Cavaliers the 1.42-41 lead with 6 seconds remaining in the first period. Dean's second shot also rattles in. And the Cavaliers picking up with a little, looks like a full court 1-2-1-1 press. Emory and Henry gets it into the middle to Dean and tries to pass it ahead and gets it batted away. And now the Cavaliers with a shot, the three at the buzzer, and they're going to wave it off. So Bryson took a three at the buzzer. I would have said it was good, but I'm not disappointed that the officials said it was not good. So at halftime, Emory and Henry trails the visiting Cavaliers, the winless Cavaliers from UVA Wise, 43-41. We'll send it back to Chandler at the station, and we'll come back at the end of halftime and recap first half action for you. So 17:03, Emory and Henry with the 50-47 advantage. And now Emory and Henry, oh, we have the ball. Okay. Yeah, I forgot. Okay, so Emory and Henry with the ball under their basket. Finds a cutter. Morgan at the short corner on the offside. Jumper good by Morgan. 52-47. Emory and Henry's largest lead of the game, now 5. Under 17 minutes left to play in this game. Morgan giving Dean everything he wants. Over to Honaker, skipping around the perimeter, looking for cutters, either going back door or coming to the top. There's a jumper on the way by Vassell, no good, rebounded. Now it's on the floor. Emory and Henry battles for it. Looney just takes it away from him. And they kicked it somehow. Looney took it away from him and took off, but they blew a whistle, and apparently the ball got kicked while it was on the floor. So it'll be Emory and Henry ball when we come back from the media timeout. I think it's a media timeout. 16:33, second half action. Emory and Henry with its largest lead of the afternoon, 52-47. Support for WEHC and Emory and Henry Wasp basketball comes from People Incorporated, believing that every person needs support from others. People Incorporated promotes the dignity of individuals and families, moves people into the economic mainstream, and works to develop existing strengths and resources within communities. For information about assistance with community development, education, employment training, family services, financial services, or housing, contact 276-623-9000 or peopleinc.net. All of the efforts of People Incorporated are directed by the concerns, hopes, needs, and dreams of the people served. Emory and Henry basketball is brought to you with support by First Bank and Trust, offering mobile banking, Apple Pay, remote deposits, and more. Serving you with free checking since 1979. Member FDIC and on the web at firstbank.com. So, Emory and Henry trailed by 2, have outscored the Cavaliers by 7 here as we've entered the first part of the second period, second and final period. Emory and Henry with the ball out of bounds far sideline in front of the Cavalier basket. Cavaliers playing man-to-man now. Left, which brings it over right-hand wing. Waits for the ball screen by Looney. Picks it up, gives it to Morgan. Morgan looks inside to Looney, can't get it there. Tried to find Gabe Brown as he cut back door, and the pass was too strong for Brown to handle. Turnover ball to the Cavaliers. 16-19, Emory and Henry 5-point lead. Morgan guarding Dean. This has been a good battle all day long on ball pressure. Dean gets past Morgan, gets it all the way inside, and gets it taken away by Banks. Ahead in transition, Looney to Morgan, 4-2. 16 remaining. Emory and Henry stretches. Largest lead of the afternoon is 7, 54-47. Vassell trying to get something going. Back to Dean. Dean guarded by Morgan. Gets inside. That time Morgan rode him just a little too long there. I think Dean's been thinking that he's been riding him a little too long all afternoon. So a timeout on the floor. Emory and Henry's largest lead of the afternoon, 54-47 with 15:49 remaining. Support for WEHC and Emory and Henry Wasp basketball comes proudly from Tom Graham and Kyle King of Edward Jones Investments. 126 East Main Street, Marion. Learn what investing can do for you. 276-783-4448 or edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC. The Food Specialist, Food Country, bringing you quality, price, satisfaction. Founded in a small rural area to serve friends and neighbors, Food Country has evolved to serve Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee. Locally owned and operated, your money stays in your community. Food City is proud to support Emory and Henry Wasp basketball on WEHC 90.7 FM. So we're back from timeout. The Cavaliers will have the ball on their end of the court on the sideline in front of their basket. Same 5 on the floor for Emory and Henry. McCarvey has entered the lineup for the Cavaliers, being guarded by Morgan. I guess he took Dean's place. As Honaker has also entered. Honaker drives baseline. His floater up over the defense is good. Jump shot by Honaker. 54-49, Emory and Henry advantage. Leftwich gives it to Morgan. Skip pass to Banks. Banks to Brown. Brown thinks about the three. Gives it back to Banks. Banks going to drive in. Gets it inside. His floater's no good off the front of the rim. Rebound battled for and brought in by Pettiford. McCarvey finds Honaker. Three on the way by Honaker. And that's a deep three, too. Honaker for the second three of the day by the Cavaliers. And as I was watching him skip to Malou down the court, Emory and Henry gets called for a foul. That's going to be Morgan. That's his third, team second. So the Cavaliers will have the ball underneath their basket. Emory and Henry mishandled the ball on the inbounds. They're swinging around the perimeter looking for the inbounder. And there's another deep three by Honaker. And his three gives the Cavaliers the 1 point advantage, 55-54. So I wondered at halftime if anybody would get going on the three. Brown answers for Emory and Henry. So there were 2 threes made in the first half of action. And now we've had a flurry of threes. We've had 4 threes made in the first 5+ minutes of play here in the second half. Timeout on the floor. Emory and Henry with the 2 point advantage, 57-55. There are 14 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in this one. Emory and Henry with 2 team fouls, the Cavaliers with 3. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining, but with all the media timeouts you have now with Division III, timeouts are barely an issue till you get to the end of the game. So it's been a wild change of offensive style here, as both teams had a 3 point apiece, and now both teams have 2 each in this limited play in the second half. Honaker brings it up. That's an illegal screen there by Pettiford. Honaker, another deep three, no good this time. Rebound battled for, it's on the floor. Emory and Henry looks to tie it up. Leftwich dives in there. And the Cavaliers call a timeout there to save the change of possession. Arrow, well, it would have been their possession. It's their possession now. And entering the lineup for Emory and Henry is Jake Monahan, 6'5" freshman from Muncie, Indiana. So we've got 14:25 remaining. Emory and Henry with a 2 point lead, 57-55. Grayson Honaker feeling it from deep three. He's a 6'3" freshman from Honaker, Virginia. I'm trying to see about his 3 point attempts on the season, and he does not show up on their stat page as the top 3 point. If you're watching on GoWasp.com, the little ball boys, that's Peyton and Grayson Vyers, that's the heartwarming part of the whole game, is watching them skip off the court with a giant smile on their face. All right, ball inbounds to Pettiford. Hand off to Honaker. Honaker back over to McCarvey. Down low. Oh, I thought he walked. But Pettiford splits 2 defenders and puts it off the glass and scores it. Tied up at 57. 14:06. Leftwich. Hand on the ball. Hands off to Antonelli. Antonelli gets it inside. Looks for somebody to give it to. Finds Brown. Brown lays it off the glass. Great find. Antonelli gets it in. So I kind of looked around like, isn't somebody going to move? And Brown just cut to the rim and got the handoff from Antonelli. Now Emory and Henry leads by 2. McCarvey swings around the perimeter to Lloyd. Lloyd tries to get inside, does get inside, puts it off the glass and draws the foul on Monahan. That's Monahan's first foul, team's third foul. Oh, his second team foul, his second individual foul, sorry. And Rodriguez enters for Leftwich. That sends Lloyd to the free throw line. He's a 6'5" junior from Manassas, Virginia, and a 67% free throw shooter. these will be his first free throws of the game. Nope. First one is good. That's his third free throw of the game. Sorry. Antonelli brings it up, being guarded closely by McCarvey. Picks it up, finds Rodriguez, right-hand wing. Swings it around the perimeter. Looks for the dribble handoff. Now they're going to call a battle inside. Monahan being guarded by Pettiford. And they're going to call the foul on Pettiford down low. His third, team's fourth. Emory and Henry with the ball underneath their basket. Up top to Rodriguez. Brown thought about the three. Dribbles it inside. Nobody stops him, so he just goes to the rim for the layup. Great move by Brown, and Emory and Henry leads by one, 61-60. Ball up, gets blocked. Vassell tries to take it up. Brown blocks it. Behind his back, out of control, finds Antonelli, but it's, oh no, we saved it out of bounds, and then we saved it back out of bounds, and now we saved it up to Lloyd, who dunks it for the Cavaliers. 12:49, Cavaliers lead by one, 62-61. Rodriguez off a ball screen by Monahan. Rodriguez all the way to the rim, kicks it out, short corner, Antonelli, jumper good. So Emory and Henry now with a 1 point lead, 63-62, 12:33. McCarvey being guarded by Rodriguez. The rest of the Cavaliers standing around. Honaker, spin move, pull up short, rebound. Nobody outside but Honaker. He tries to save it. It goes inside to Lloyd. Lloyd tries to go up with it, and the foul's going to be called on Rodriguez, I think. Yep. So we're back to the foul fest that we had early in this. We had late in the second half. I mean, the second part of the first half. That's the third foul on Rodriguez, fourth team foul for Emory and Henry. And that sends Lloyd to the free throw line. He's been there 3 times today and made all of them. He's a 67% free throw shooter. And that one bangs off too strong. In for the Cavaliers, number 12, Bryson, number 1, Dean, and number 32, McAmish. No, McAmes. I've been saying that wrong the entire time. There's no S. I apologize to his family. That second shot is good by Lloyd, so we're tied up at 63, 12-16 remaining. Antonelli brings it up for the Wasps. Cutter baseline, ball screen up top by Monahan. Antonelli, handoff to Banks, back to Antonelli. Makes a move, gets it down to the short corner to to Monahan, whose shot rims off. And in transition, here come the Cavaliers. Dean back in, trying to get inside by Rodriguez. His shot's too strong. Monahan comes away with it, and the coaches are yelling, go, go, go. Rodriguez up ahead, now Banks with it, drives right. He draws the foul. He drew about 4 defenders as he made that move on the baseline and drew the foul there. And that foul is going to be on Tyler Lloyd. That's his third, team 5th of this half. Let's see who's got how many fouls as we've re-entered the foul fest portion of the game. So that's Lloyd's third foul. Pettiford for the Cavaliers has 3. For Emory and Henry, Leftwich with 3. Antonelli with, that's assists. Let's try fouls. I got it right. Let's see. Pettiford has 3. Lloyd has 3. For the Cavaliers. For Emory and Henry, let's look at the fouls. Morgan with 3. Rodriguez with 3, Antonelli and Monahan with 2. Leading all scorers is number 5 for the Cavaliers, Vassell. He's got 19 points, and Honaker's right behind him with 15. For Emory and Henry, Morgan with 15 points, Gabe Brown with 13, Micah Banks with 11. Leading rebounder is Pettiford with 8. Let's see how we're doing on the things we needed to do better on. Well, the turnovers have quieted down a little bit since the flurry of turnovers the first couple of minutes of this half. This sends Banks to the free throw line for Emory and Henry. Banks is a 64% free throw shooter. He's a junior from Simpsonville, South Carolina. Shot is good. We're at 11:39 in the game, and Emory and Henry now with the 1 point lead. What a battle this has been. been fun to be here on the front row. I hope it's been fun wherever you are. It'd be more fun if we end up with more points than they do. And Banks rolls the second one in. 65-63, Emory and Henry now on defense. Rodriguez guarding Dean. Dean takes it inside, cuts it out to Honaker. Honaker, jumper, nope. Jumper, he jumped up and passed it. And then a kick out to Lloyd for 3. And just like that, the Cavaliers take the 1-point lead, 66-65. Leftwich, ball screen by Monahan. Skips it around the perimeter. Rodriguez is going to think about the 3. Doesn't get it. Antonelli tries to battle for the rebound, but the Cavaliers come away with it. And there's Honaker again. Boom. That one's no good. Antonelli with the long rebound. Transition. Takes it inside. Goes all the way high off the glass. No good. Banks is there to battle for it, but can't draw it in. Lloyd for the Cavaliers. Dean being guarded by Rodriguez. Step out pass to Lominac. Now over to Honaker. Now to Lloyd, right baseline. He drives in. He gets it batted away. Monahan with the rebound for the Wasps. And Banks brings it in transition. Finds Rodriguez, splits 2 defenders, and draws the foul. 10:26 remaining. Emory and Henry trails 66-65. And that foul's on McAmes. Amos. I'm going to get that right once. That's his second, team 6th. We pass it inbounds to Rodriguez, and he had a foot out of bounds, or he stepped back to make a move and stepped out of bounds. This 3-point line now, when they moved it back, I don't know, a guy with big feet, I don't know how he stands on the sideline and doesn't step out of bounds. Dean tries to get it inside, does, kicks it out to Lloyd. Lloyd drives inside, and we rode him just a little too long there on defense. The foul's going to be on Micah Banks. That's his second, team's 5th. Baseline out of bounds for the Cavaliers. Emory and Henry in man-to-man defense, 20 on the shot clock. McAmes swings around. They swing it to everybody. The inbounder, that was Bradley Dean. He passed it inbounds. They pass it inbounds. It swings around the perimeter. It goes to the inbounder on the opposite corner, and he shuffled his feet. So turnovers and fouls. Each coach has got to be shaking their head, sick of both of those. 10:05 remaining. Emory and Henry trails 66-65. Ball screen up top for Leftwich. And the coaches are yelling about moving because nobody is. They're looking inside at Monahan now, and he steps out. Monahan, left-hand shot on the way from the right baseline, no good. And pass ahead to Honaker. Honaker's layup is good. 9:44, the Cavaliers lead 68-65. After Emory and Henry enjoyed the lead early in this second half, it's been back and forth. Here comes Monahan up top. Leftwich sees if he can find him. No, I'll just take it to the rim myself, and he does. Lays that one in. Trailing by 1. 9:22 remaining. See if Emory's defense can get a stop here. Dean on the handout to Lominac. Over to McAmes. They're sending that offside cutter. This time we had good defense on it. Now inside Dean. Oh, I thought he picked up his pivot foot. Honaker with it up top, being guarded by Antonelli. Now inside. Leftwich won't let Lloyd get in there. Dean does get in there, and he draws the foul on Rodriguez. That's going to be 4 on Kevin. That's his 4th team foul, team's 5th. Dean is the 6'2" freshman from Gate City. He played on the Gate City men's basketball teams that have been so strong in recent years, and he's showing how he was an important component of that. So back in the lineup for Emory and Henry, 32, Gabe Brown, 44, Cade Looney. We also have Leftwich and Morgan. Leftwich 5, Morgan 4, Banks 3. This sends Dean to the free throw line. He's only a 56% free throw shooter, but he makes that one. And he's 3 for 3 from the free throw line today. 8:58 remaining. Emory and Henry trails by 4. 71-67. Leftwich bringing it up. Emory and Henry with 2 players on the baseline, now 4 players on the baseline. Up comes Looney to set a ball screen, step out, thinks about the 3, dribbles down, looks for a handoff to Morgan. Morgan gets inside, kicks it out to Brown. Brown, 3 on the way, no good. Rebound, long rebound out to Honaker. He gives a handoff to Dean, being guarded by Morgan. Back to Honaker. I thought he shuffled his feet, so did the bench. Pass inside to Vassell. He just ducked inside on his man, wide open there with his guy on his defense on his back. And now a 5-point Cavalier advantage, 8:13 remaining. Leftwich being guarded by Honaker. He just goes around him to the rim. There's a good answer. 73-69, the Cavaliers lead with 8 minutes remaining. Dean up top to Lominack, now Honaker. Now we've got that cutter covered now. And Lominack tried to take it inside, and now there's another foul being called. Are they going to call a charge or a block? Yeah, charge. So as Lominack drove down the left-hand side of the lane, Emory and Henry defender was there to take the charge. That's 2 fouls on Lominack, 17 fouls now on the Cavaliers. So Emory and Henry's going to get to shoot from here on out. 7:48 remaining. Emory and Henry trail 73-69. Emory and Henry shooting a torrid 55% from the floor, but the Cavaliers are all at 50%. The Cavaliers have been to the free throw line 17 times, shooting 15 of 17. On the season, the Cavaliers are just a 64% free throw shooting team. Tonight, they're shooting 88% from the line. Emory and Henry shooting 80% from the line. Normally, we're a 66% free throw shooting team, but we're not going as many times as they have gone. The three-point shooting that sparked the beginning of the second half has quieted quite a bit as well. The Cavaliers with a 6-rebound advantage over Emory and Henry. But the difference is the Cavaliers with 12 offensive rebounds, Emory and Henry with 8. On the floor for Emory and Henry is Brown, 32, Leftwich, 5, Morgan, 4, Banks, 3, and Looney, 44. Trailing 73-69, Emory and Henry brings the ball up for offense with 7:45 remaining. Leftwich calls up Looney for the ball screen. Hits Looney on the step out. Looks for a backdoor cutter, doesn't have it. Back to Leftwich. 15 on the shot clock. Leftwich tries to get inside. Morgan for 3. Morgan drains it from the right baseline. The left-handed 3 by Morgan is good. And the net gets stuck, so we stop play here. Emory and Henry now trailing by 1, 73-72. Picking up the ball handlers full court. And there's Morgan going with Dean. That's been a great defense-offense matchup this afternoon. We've stopped that cutter again. That's a nice improvement from the first half, that offside curl cut coming through. McAmes with it up top, gives it back to Dean. Dean finds down low. Can't see who that is, but that roll, that's Pettiford, won't go. And in transition, Emory and Henry comes down, and Morgan's going to draw the foul. Morgan went in left-hand side of the basket, drew a couple of defenders, hits the deck, but draws the foul. So that foul is on Bradley Dean, his first, team's 8th. Emory and Henry with 16 fouls. The Cavaliers with 8. This sends Morgan to the free throw line for Emory and Henry for his 3rd trip of the night. He makes the first one. He's a 62% free throw shooter on the season, but he's 3 of 4 tonight. No, wait. He's 2 of 3 tonight. And now he's 3 of 4. Now we're tied up again. No, Emory and Henry with the lead, 74-73. 7 minutes remaining. Banks picking up McAmes. McAmis Honaker, man, what a move. I thought he was just a spot-up shooter, but he drives down the left of the lane with a hook shot high off the glass and gets it to go. Morgan tries to, oh, man, drives baseline, tries to feed it to Looney. The hot pass he can't handle, but Brown is there and lays it in. Emory and Henry 76-75. Brown. Guarding McCarvey. Now Honaker goes inside. Back out to McCarvey. McCarvey. 12 on the shot clock. McCarvey gets inside, kicks it out. Honaker. Side dribble. 3 on the way. No good. Rebound. Battle for. That's a foul. Please. Yeah. That was a slow whistle there. So Looney had Pettiford boxed out. Pettiford comes over his back, gets the rebound, and lays it in. And Looney hits the deck, and I didn't think they were going to call it. Neither did Coach Thompson or anybody else in the gym, but they called the foul. So that's a 4th foul on Joel Pettiford. And that's Pettiford with 8 points and 8 rebounds. Now with a 4th foul, that sends Looney to the free throw line. Looney's 4 of 4 on the evening, and yes, I am knocking on wood as the coaches draw Looney and Brown over to give them some instruction, and our little ball guys, Peyton and Grayson Vyers, are helping Coach Rick Thompson mop up the floor where Looney hit the deck. These little guys are kids who came to Little Wasp Camp back in the summer and had the chance to sign up to be a ball girl or a ball boy for one of the games. So it's fun to the best look of the night is the smile on those kids' face when they come skipping off the court there after helping be a part of the game. So we're at 6:05 to play. Emory and Henry with the 1-point lead, and Looney hits the first free throw for the 2-point lead, 77-75. And the second one rattles around but falls. Now Emory and Henry with the 3-point lead. Lloyd dribbling up, being guarded by Brown. Hand off to, oh, that is Lloyd. And the Cavaliers I thought they just passed it out of bounds. Must have been off Emory and Henry. 20 on the shot clock now. McAmis inbounds to McCarvey. Over to Lloyd. Back to McCarvey. McAmis up top to Honaker. 5 on the shot clock. Honaker tries to step back, can't get any separation. McCarvey holding the ball as the shot clock winds down. He takes it in, and Gabe Brown sends it out to the lobby. So shot clock violation or block, whichever way you want to look at it. There was no point scored by the Cavaliers there. 5:34 remaining. Emory and Henry will have the ball with the 78-75 3-point advantage. Cavaliers still playing half-court man-to-man, trying to divvy up who's going to guard who. Leftwich bringing it down for Emory and Henry. Oh, no, they're playing a zone now. Yep, looks like a 1-2-2. Morgan's going to drive baseline, tries to feed it down low to Looney. It gets kicked out of bounds by the Cavaliers. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Ball inbounds to Banks. Tipped, batted away. Banks gets it, saves it back to Brown at the half-court line. Brown, yeah, he thought about making a hesitation move, and he double dribbled. So turnover for the Wasps. 78-75, 5:12 remaining. Emory and Henry with the 3-point lead. Dean guarded by Brown. Gives it up top to Lloyd. Lloyd takes it inside. Oh, gosh, you could hear that from here. And on the stick back, Lloyd draws the foul. That's going to be on Morgan. That's going to be his 4th foul. That'll send Lloyd to the free throw line for the Cavaliers. He's a 67% free throw shooter on the season, but he's 4 of 5 tonight. Foul situation. Pettiford has 4 for the Cavalier. Emory and Henry, Morgan with 4. Rodriguez with 4. Antonelli set to enter the lineup for Emory and Henry. Lloyd's first shot is good. So Antonelli's going to replace Morgan with 4 fouls. Morgan's got 20 points. But he also has, oh, they just called 4 fouls. Okay, so was that foul on Looney? Okay, instead of Morgan. Well, that's better to spread them out for us. So the Cavalier now playing, looks like a 1-2-2 zone here. Emory and Henry looking at it, trying to get the ball in bounds, got it deflected inside, I meant. Antonelli gets it inside to Brown, middle of the lane. Yes, I love using the high post against the zone. In a 1-2-2, that's the open spot if you can get it past that top defender. 4:30 remaining. Emory and Henry with the 80-77 lead. Dean up top to Lloyd. Lloyd trying to make a move on Looney. Oh, I thought he carried it. But he finds Vassell. Vassell's been deadly all around the curl cuts and the baseline, and he gets the layup to go. Emory and Henry's 1-point lead, 80-79. Antonelli over to Banks on the left-hand wing. Leftwich, you can't look at it too long trying to float it in there because it's not going to go. Bounce past to Banks, and his 3 from the right-hand wing is very timely as Emory and Henry now 4 points pushes the lead out, 83-79. 3:45. Lloyd with it up top, being guarded by Looney. Gets around him, hooks it, shot off the glass, falls. So the Cavaliers answer. Emory and Henry 83-81, 2-point lead, 3:30 remaining. Antonelli pushes it around the perimeter. Looking inside. Knows find Banks again. Banks back to Leftwich. Antonelli spotting up, gets it inside, back out to Banks. Banks, another 3 on the way. Boom! Buries that one. 86-81, 3:12 remaining. So maybe we're back to the 3-point shooting we started the second half with. Dean gets inside, kicks it out. Pettiford with it. He goes inside, lays it down low, and Lloyd gets that one to fall. That was Vassell with it on the drive. 86-83, 3-point advantage, 2:51 remaining, and the Cavalier have gone back to man defense here. Antonelli up top, ball screen by Looney. Looks at Looney on the step out, picks it up, finds Brown down inside. Looks inside at Looney, back to Antonelli. 8 on the shot clock. Oh, nice lob to Looney, being guarded by the much smaller 6'3" Honaker. Great assist by Antonelli down low to Looney. 88-83, 2:23 remaining. Emory and Henry 5-point advantage. McAmis, he drives all the way in, kicks it out. 3 on the way, no good. Rebound by Vassell. Another 3 on the way. That one's no good. Rebound, battle for, and Looney comes away with it for Emory and Henry. Gives it to Brown. 2 minutes remaining. Gets it across the half-court line, and Coach Thompson's barking out the instructions for what he wants on offense with the 5-point lead. Antonelli dribbles over, right-hand wing. Goes off a ball screen, gets doubled. Oh, tries to find Looney. Looney comes up with it, takes it to the rim, won't get it to fall, looking for the foul. Honaker gets it in transition. He draws the foul, but he can't get the shot to drop. We're at 1:39 remaining. Emory and Henry with the 88-83 lead. That's second foul on Gabe Brown, team 8. So we have media timeout here. 1:39 remaining. Emory and Henry leads 88-83. 18 fouls for Emory and Henry. 8 team fouls for Emory and Henry. 9 team fouls for the Cavaliers. The possession arrow favors the Cavaliers. Both teams are in the bonus. Timeouts remaining. Emory and Henry with 2. The Cavaliers with 1. Foul situation. Pettiford, number 24 for the Cavaliers with 4. Lloyd with 3. For Emory and Henry, Rodriguez, number 0 with 4. Morgan with 3. Everybody else is safe. So we have a flurry. We have 2 threes made in the first half. We have a couple to start the half. Now we've had a couple at near the end of the half. Micah Banks now is 2 of 4 from 3. Malcolm Morgan 3 of 6 from 3. Morgan leads the Emory and Henry scoring with 20. Vassell with 23 for the Cavaliers. He's been the one who's came around in the first half on that curl cut every time you blinked your eyes. On that, he's been sneaking on the baseline here as of late. This sends Grayson Honaker to the free throw line. He's a freshman from Honaker, Virginia, to shoot 2. First shot up, no good, bangs around. So 1:39 remaining. The coaches are reminding the players for Emory and Henry what they're supposed to do here. Second shot is good by Honaker. Morgan with the ball out, looks for somebody to get it into. Brown comes back to him, gets it to Brown in the corner. Trap being shot, set back to Morgan. Morgan up ahead to Antonelli. Antonelli holds it up here, waiting for the foul to come from Dean. Dean's riding him pretty hard here, but that's going to have to be more contact than that here. Morgan with the ball on the right-hand wing, waits for the ball screen by Looney. Gets it to Banks across the way. Antonelli, 10 on the shot clock, gets it inside, finds somebody to give it to, finds Brown. Brown steps inside, floater by Brown, no good. Rebound, Cavaliers, no, battled for, and Banks comes up with it for Emory and Henry, out to Antonelli. We're at 1:05 to play here. Emory and Henry with a 4-point lead. And we'll have the ball out of bounds on the sideline in front of our bench. 1:02 remaining, leading by 4, 88-84. Morgan has nowhere to go, and he's trying to say, this guy's got to back up a little bit. He's being guarded by Lloyd. Emory and Henry with their line-up sideline offense here, gets it inside to Antonelli. Trap coming in the corner. Antonelli calls timeout. Yeah, that was a good job getting the ball in bounds, but the corner was the bad place to get it. So that gets both teams down to 1 timeout remaining, and we have 1 minute remaining. Emory and Henry with a 4-point advantage and the ball. 1 minute remaining, 88-84. So Emory and Henry will set up in front of their bench. Typically they run a lineup with 4 players lined up several steps away from the sideline, curl some cutters through. When usually the point guard or somebody steps out away from the basket. That time we inbounded the ball to Antonelli curling toward the baseline. He got trapped there. So at least Emory and Henry has a timeout remaining to get the ball in bounds. Antonelli will be the inbound passer this time. Brown, Looney, Morgan, and Banks are in the back of that line. And now Antonelli is going to get it in bounds. Floating it out to Looney. Looney hands off to Morgan. Morgan takes it inside, and Morgan gets called for the charge. So Morgan thought he was going to take it to the rim down the left-hand side of the lane, and the defense was there waiting on him. So that's 4th foul on Morgan. Of course, we're under a minute to play here at 55 seconds. We're waiting for the towel guys to come. The little towel guys have to be reminded it's time for them to go. 55.8, 88-84 is Emory and Henry's advantage. What do I see the Cavaliers doing here? Well, they've got Honaker in the game. He's 2 of 6 from 3 this evening, but they need more than a 3. They need to score fast and run their full court pressure again. That last time when Emory and Henry had the ball inbounds on the end line, we got it inbounds to Brown, who cut from the half court line toward the inbounder, and then they were able to set the trap. Fortunately, their defense didn't rotate fast enough. We were able to get the ball back to Morgan, the inbounder. Of course, that is if the Cavaliers can score here and if Emory and Henry cannot foul somebody. who's going to the basket. So it's been a game of turnovers and fouls, and then suddenly we get hot from three, and there you go. Oh, Brown is guarding Dean. This is interesting. Hasn't been on him all night. Step out to Pettiford. Now to Dean. Dean down low to Pettiford. He puts it up and in. And the Cavaliers. The officials call timeout here to get the clock set right. 42.3, is that what they're saying? It does, yeah, there we go, 43.2. I thought it was 42.3. Anyway, Emory and Henry leads by 2, 88-86. Each team with 1 timeout remaining, each team with 9 team fouls. The Cavaliers picking up full court. Morgan with the ball out of bounds. Banks and Antonelli. Brown is cutting toward the ball. Antonelli's cutting to the corner. He gets it back to Morgan. Morgan is able to get it up across the half-court line. 23 on the shot clock. Morgan being guarded by Vassell. Morgan trying to get inside. Morgan's going to draw the foul on Vassell. That's Vassell's second foul. Team's 10th. That'll send Morgan to the free throw line to shoot 2. Morgan's 3 of 4 for the night. 62% on the season. Morgan with 20 points tonight. Emory and Henry, 30 seconds remaining. 88-86 is the Emory advantage. Morgan's first shot rolls around, rolls out. Ooh, golly. And McCamus re-enters for the Cavaliers. Morgan with another chance at it, the lefty. Shots up and good. So a 3-point advantage for Emory and Henry with 3 seconds remaining. And Leftwich is going to replace Brown in the lineup. And Leftwich is going to guard Bradley Dean. Dean dribbles up. Looks for Vassell. Vassell cuts back door. McAmis, there's that curl cut. Back up top to Dean. 3 on the way, and he buries it. Vassell hits the 3 with 19.5 remaining, and we're tied up. 13.5 remaining, and we're tied up 89-89. Timeout. Full timeout taken by the Cavaliers, so they have no timeouts remaining. Emory and Henry with 1 timeout remaining. Both teams, Emory and Henry will be shooting 2 on every foul. The Cavaliers shooting 1 on 1. Well, no, it'll go to the double bonus next foul. Man, what a deadly 3 that was by Vassell. I think that's his first 3 of the night. Let's see. Yep, first 3 of the night by Vassell. So, as I've said, it's been a flurry of turnovers, then a flurry of fouls, and then the 3s come in flurries as well. So Emory and Henry has had some challenge getting the ball inbounds. But when they get it inbounds, the trap comes quickly. Okay, there's not going to be a full court pressure, or is there going to be full court pressure? No, there's not going to be full court pressure. So interesting to see what the Wasps do here. I'd love to see, if I had a tool like Looney down low, that might be a place to go, but we've had some great play by Banks and Morgan tonight as well. Antonelli brings it up, 9 on the shot clock. He looks for Banks, handoff to Banks. Banks gets it inside, kicks out to Antonelli. 4, 3, back to Banks. 3 on the way, no good, and we're going to overtime. So we had some good looks at it, but the 3 wouldn't fall for I think that was Morgan actually. Malcolm Morgan, took the 3 from the left corner, and that one wouldn't go. And so we're going to play 5 more minutes here with both teams knotted up at 89. So everybody's going to get an extra timeout. Emory and Henry will have 2 in this additional 5 minutes of play. The Cavaliers will have 1. Emory and Henry with 9 team fouls, so on their next foul, it'll be double bonus for both teams as the Cavaliers already have 10. So the largest lead of the evening for Emory and Henry was 7 at the beginning, 16 minutes left to play in the second period. We've had 16 lead changes and 12 ties. At halftime, Wise had the lead for, 11 minutes of the first part of the game, and we had about 3 or 5 minutes lead. Now we've had 15 minutes here with the lead in this game. So we're going to jump it again. That puts Looney jumping against Pettiford. And on the court for Emory and Henry, we have Antonelli 2,